Just take the 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say the biggest challenges would probably be the workload and all of the responsibility that comes with being editor-in-chief. But I would say my favorite part about being editor-in-chief is that I get to work in the newsroom in person.
Okay, so right after class, if you can, please put in your...
I definitely do get burned out, just because I feel both the job that I have outside of class is stressful, and on top of that, being an editor-in-chief is very stressful. I just try to remember how much I love working on the paper and how much I love journalism, and I think that's really what keeps me going despite all of that burnout and despite all of that stress.
I think the best part of being a managing editor is like dealing with like the organizational part of the newspaper, because once you like, the biggest part of being the managing editor is making sure that's possible to make my job easy and to also take the load off of Trisha. I think the other thing too is to make sure that like my communication is like really like well set with all of the section editors and the photographers and the reporters, because then I can update Trisha or fill in the blanks that Trisha doesn't like have all of the information in. So then it makes her job way easier. I think that's a lot of like what I really enjoy of being a managing editor, is just like the organizational part of it, and then also being able to help her as much as possible. I definitely get frustrated and overwhelmed for sure, especially when it comes to like deadline days. Sometimes we have things that aren't done that should have been done like way in advance, and like there's nothing that we can really do about that in the moment, because it's just like it's stuff that happens, especially right now with COVID. It's been like harder because, you know, communication like is all through Zoom or through Slack or through text messages or emails, and so communication is harder, so that makes it stressful.
So this is my third semester as an editor of the Roundup. I started in the semester of fall 2020. Now feel pretty comfortable copy editing. I feel comfortable delegating tasks to people. I think I've gotten better at communicating with my fellow editors. And I don't think there's been anything really bad about the experience. Anything that has been bad, you know, ironed out the problems as I've gone along with it. I think initially there's like a sense of intimidation or a fear that you don't want to speak up and say something that might be stupid or insignificant. But I think as my time here has gone along, I've learned to sort of just chuck out ideas, because that's sometimes how the best ideas just come out. Just sort of brainstorming out in the open, just asking questions, just making comments, and then hopefully sometimes the best format to publish something or to write something comes out within that brainstorming. Because of the pandemic, deadlines have been pretty interesting, because it would be pretty firm before, and then now with everything being online and we don't really get to see each other as often as we used to, there's been a slight relaxation in deadlines. We're still pretty firm. We obviously still need to put out a paper every single week, but in terms of getting everything done, it's just, I think it really falls on really having good communication with your reporters or your photographers, just constantly asking if they need help with anything, and if they do, to make sure you're a lifeline for them in case they need something.